Disclaimer: the following narrative is based on open source reports and public claims.
Imagine a small village you may have never heard of before. Its name is Varvarovka, but today this village has become a new focal point in the war in southern Ukraine. Russia's Ministry of Defense announced that its forces have taken control of Varvarovka in the Zaporizhzhia region. At the same time, Ukrainian troops were reported to have pulled back even farther from the front line. So the question is simple: is this just a minor shift on the map? Or is it a sign that Ukraine's position in the south is becoming increasingly fragile? Let's break it down. At first glance, Varvarovka doesn't look important. It's not a major city, it's not an industrial hub, and it rarely makes headlines. But in modern warfare, small villages often serve as logistics nodes, rotation points for troops, or layers in a defensive network. When one village falls, pressure immediately shifts to the areas behind it, and that's what makes Varvarovka far more significant than it appears. If you've followed this war from the beginning, you've probably noticed a familiar pattern. Whenever Russian pressure increases, Ukraine's response often looks the same: a withdrawal. The wording changes: tactical repositioning, controlled retreat, forced preservation. It all sounds professional, but when it keeps happening, a serious question emerges. Is this still strategy, or is it necessity? Retreating in war is legitimate. No professional military sacrifices its troops for no reason. But every retreat comes at a cost: territory. And territory, once lost, is rarely easy to regain. In Zaporizhzhia, Ukraine's pullback from Varvarovka suggests that its defensive lines are becoming thinner and harder to hold. Zaporizhzhia is not just another region. It's a key strategic area in southern Ukraine, close to critical routes linking the east and the south. When Ukraine loses ground here, the consequences go beyond a single village. Russian pressure can spread across neighboring sectors, accelerating shifts along the front line. Varvarovka could be the beginning of that domino effect. Ukraine has received massive military support: advanced weapons, drones, air defense systems, and extensive training. But the battlefield doesn't always match expectations. Advanced weapons can't fully replace manpower, endurance, and sustained logistics. And at this stage, Ukraine is showing clear signs of fatigue. Unlike the image of rapid offensives, Russia is playing a long game. No rush, no constant, dramatic breakthroughs. Just steady pressure, village by village, position by position. Varvarovka is one outcome of that approach. Not flashy, but effective. In international media, Ukraine's tone remains optimistic. Talk of resilience, talk of long-term victory, but the map tells a different story. Every withdrawal, no matter how small, changes the reality on the ground. And the gap between narrative and reality is becoming harder to ignore. Another striking element is the international response. News of Ukrainian pullbacks no longer triggers global alarm. No major reactions, no sense of urgency. And that's dangerous, because wars are also fought in the arena of perception. As the world grows accustomed to bad news from Ukraine, internal pressure builds. Troop morale is tested, international public support risks fading, and without strong external backing, Ukraine's position becomes even more difficult to sustain. If Varvarovka falls today, which village is next? How much territory must be given up before Kyiv openly acknowledges how severe the situation on the ground really is? This isn't provocation, it's a realistic question. Varvarovka doesn't decide the war, but it represents something important. It shows Ukraine still fighting, but under growing pressure, and it shows Russia steadily regaining initiative. If this pattern continues, the southern front could enter a far more difficult phase, more defensive for Ukraine, more advantageous for Russia, and with every passing day, the cost grows higher. Now it's your turn to think. Is Ukraine's strategy of pulling back still effective? Or is this proof that momentum has already shifted? Because in war, survival alone isn't victory, especially when territory keeps slipping away. The capture of Varvarovka may be just one episode, but it offers a clear snapshot of where this conflict is heading. Share your thoughts in the comments. Like and subscribe if you want war and geopolitics analyzed with a sharper, more honest perspective. Because in war, the greatest danger isn't just defeat, it's the illusion that everything is still under control.